Now we're going to talk about some under the radar guys. So, who are a couple under the radar free agents that we haven't mentioned that you think can make a big impact on a team if signed?
I'll start. Mamu. He's been really underrated, I think, for the Raptors the last couple of seasons. He's someone that could come off the bench, create some for himself, create some for others. Just long, versatile, 6'8", 6'9". He's not going to become, this crazy expensive free agent. So if a team like Miami wants to get involved, he'd be super affordable. I don't want to say he's been wasting away in Toronto, but I do feel like there's room for him to grow not only as a player, but also just as a contributor. I feel like there's a path for him to be like a pretty consistent guy that could get 20 to 25 minutes in this league. I have a couple others, but he was the first one that came to mind.
So Sandro was on Toronto for 1 year. Before this, he was on San Antonio.
Yeah.
So just to clear that up.
He was on Toronto for 1 year?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a couple of years.
Sandro, Mamukelashvili, I feel as if should go to Minnesota. The Timberwolves...
Julius Randle replacement?
It's more of a Nas Reed replacement.
Or Nas Reed, yeah.
I don't think that Mamu's the player that Nas Reed is, but Reed has some deficiencies. He's not the best rebounder. He's not the best defender. Mamukelashvili can fill most of that floor spacing stretch big role, and where if you want to, you have the versatility to now go into these 5-out lineups where you have LaMelo, Ant, McDaniels, Ayo, and then Mamu at the small ball 5. You're probably going to bleed a lot of value defensively, but it gives Minnesota an alternative, and it also gives them size if they want to go with LaMelo, Ant, McDaniels, Mamu, and Gobert. So I feel like if they're looking for somebody to be a stretch big, to have some more size on the team, Mamu is the best option because he won't be as expensive as John Collins, and they can probably get him in their tax exception with the cap that they have remaining.
Yeah, because he only signed for like a couple million when he went to Toronto.
No, he signed for nothing, dude. It was like $2 million. So Sergio Mamukelashvili, he averaged 11 points and 5 rebounds off the bench. Yeah. He was one of the better six-mans in the NBA. I think that he's going to be a hell of a free agent pickup.
The biggest one for me is going to be Landry Shamet, because getting shooters that can defend and can play in the postseason is more valuable than really ever before. And there are a lot of playoff teams that are missing that archetype of a player. Some other players to me were Tim Hardaway Jr. coming off a career year in Denver, the Jokic beneficiary. We see it every offseason where those players tend to get a big-time payday. And given Tim Hardaway Jr.'s age, it might be the last, it most likely will be the biggest and last one he gets after playing on a veteran minimum contract this last season. Last two players to me, Bones Highland, who is very good in Minnesota. I kind of just chalk him coming back to the Wolves because of how vital he'll be in the event LaMelo misses time. And one last sleeper to me would be Tyus Jones, because before Orlando, he had some very good years, decent shooter, and in the limited opportunities he got from the Nuggets, he was pretty solid, and I feel he could still be a quality backup and a rotational caliber guard for a couple of different teams.
Well, the one that stands out to me is Julian Champagnie. Like the fact that he is coming off the postseason run that he did and now gets to become a free agent. He's definitely going to draw some suitors. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, him being a free agent, I understand that he's on the end of his tenure in the NBA. 33 years old, though, can be a contributor off the bench for a team. And if I had to go shot in the dark, Jalen Clark. I see a guy in Jordan Goodwin who has made himself a respectable and now paid NBA role player. And it was due to kind of fighting to be there and staying there and finding a new identity. I'm being a defender. And Jalen Clark is a really strong defender. Obviously doesn't have that offensive upside, but still young, 24 years old, going to have an opportunity to go to the team and just be a role player off the bench and somebody that's going to sign for very little dollar and could be a contributor off a bench.
He was the Shea stopper at one point.
Never forget.
That was a moment in time.
He'll be back in Minnesota. Don't worry about it. We didn't mention these free agents. They're like in a mix of like sleeper and not sleeper. Colin Sexton, just think some punch off the bench. Lou Dort probably should have been in the mainstay of guys. Mm-hmm. And then Luke Kennard, just the season he had with the Lakers, one of the best three-point shooters. I'm expecting him to be back in LA, though, if I'm being honest. Really, to me, the sleepers, the true ones, are the two bigs. You mentioned Sandro Mamukelashvili. It's also Dean Wade. Dean Wade is very vital to the Cavaliers' success, especially in the postseason. We saw that. At times, offensively, he can be a negative because he can't shoot consistently on open jumpers. But defensively, the Cavaliers' best playoff lineups often featured him in the lineup. So if you're a team that is looking for some more size, like I said again, like Minnesota, if they can sign both, I think it'd be a home run. They probably won't be able to. It'll probably be one of the two. But any team that needs some more size, some defensive versatility, some shooting, I think Dean Wade's a perfect fit. Dean Wade was overtasked in his role where he is the best perimeter defender on Cleveland, where if he goes to another situation, he'll be like at best a fourth or fifth best defender. Like him in Miami would make a lot of sense, and it would make them an even better defensive team.
Part of the issue with him is just the shooting, because he was always hyped up to be a shooter, and this last postseason, for whatever reason, he just wasn't taking them. There are a few other players that could be very relevant in this discussion to me, because the Heat, to me, I believe, are just going to go out and take a couple of door throws on veteran minimum contracts. Chris Middleton, Simeon Fontecchio reunion, and then one player via trade who's got 1 year left in his contract. I would not be surprised if they try to trade either Nikola Jovic or Bobby Portis or Klay Thompson, because shooting is going to be a necessity for this lineup, and Klay Thompson at 36 can still bring it in, a very high volume.
You take a flyer on Bradley Beal or no way?
It'd be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, though, the Clippers, that's what they did, and he missed an entire season. I don't know. I'm kind of out. I'm out of the Bradley Beal business.
There's no
I don't think you have to start him. Do you have to start him?
If you want a 1 year veteran, nothing,
That's
try
what I
out.
mean, like,
you know what I mean?
If he
Make
goes
him
out there,
$5.5 million.
you sign him on a vet deal, and he's killing the second team, in the best case scenario, of course. I mean, I feel like that's a decent
I
reward.
see Bradley Beal get flashbacks.
But you're right though about like Miami. Miami's entire free agent philosophy is going to be dart throws on minimum contracts.
All they got, really.
Yeah, that's all they have. They have Wiggins re-signing him, and they have room for one more like mid-level exception contract, and then after that, everything has to be straight minimums.
Okay.
So they can sign Wiggins back and maybe get a Grimes or a Simons at a good bargain deal. They're probably gonna lose Norman Powell, and then everything else is minimums. I don't know. Like now that you mentioned Landry Shamet for what he showed me in the playoffs, like it's gonna sound crazy, but he might be just as valuable as contractually Simons or Grimes. I think Shamet is gonna get like a 3-year, $30 million contract.
I mean, the run he went on, he deserves it.
For 2 years.
He could defend, he could shoot, like all those things for me. That's why I think that Landry Shamet, that was a great name. That was a great sleeper.